The Cobra Effect or Perverse Incentives. It describes the situation when an incentive or reward is offered to solve a problem or to encourage some betterment, but instead of producing results, it backfired and worsens the problem. Unintended negative consequences when a reward or incentives is offered to solve a problem. That is, sometimes people exploit loopholes within the policy introduced or misuse the incentives. For example, a government introduces subsidy policy on fertilizer to increase agriculture products, but what we see is people started stocking fertilizers and creating shortage of fertilizer in markets, and we see long queues of farmers for fertilizers. The intended result or outcome the government wanted through this policy was increased agriculture products, but they couldn't succeed in getting this outcome, and what they got was suffering and restless farmers. The origin of the word the Cobra effect dates back to the policy of the British Empire during their colonial rule over British India, when they introduced bounty on collection of skins of cobras in Delhi city. The British Empire wanted to control the population of venomous cobras in the city, and they encouraged people to collect cobras, kill them, and submit skin to the government and get reward of bounty. But the policy counteracted and people started exploiting it. People started breeding cobras in their farms. They used to produce more cobras to get more money. When the matter was brought forth, British Empire, they stopped bounty on cobra skin and people released all of their useless cobras. And what they saw at the end was even an increased amount of cobras on streets, and thus policy failed, and instead of reducing the population of cobras, it increased population of cobras in the city. Some more examples can be a contractor is paid to construct a road per mile to create more check and balance, but what he does is he increases the length of the road unnecessarily and he worsens the problem. Likewise, Pakistani government encouraged real estate sector to increase remittances from overseas citizens. What people started to do was constructing unnecessary housing colonies that do on fertile lands and creating shortage of agriculture, particularly wheat products, and country had to import wheat to fulfill demand of its increasing population. So that increased cost of import bills practically nullified effectiveness of remittances received from overseas Pakistanis. How to avoid Cobra effect? First, introduce simple incentives and rewards and make it simple instead of complicated. More complicated the policy of incentives is, the more easy is to find loopholes within the policy. Try to outsmart yourself, that is, to think in advance, to think what hardships can come ahead and leave least possible space for exploitation. Another solution is seek values more than money. Money will come as a byproduct, but you should prioritize spreading values instead of money more. For example, if some incentive is introduced to sell substandard products, it is more likely to backfire because your priority was to gain money instead of values. Another solution is receive feedback test your policy and re-evaluate, and make every possible modifications if you can to correct any loophole within the policy. Thank you very much.